Good morning. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and yeah, just going to test it out really and see if the 4G signal holds, and it's a worthwhile time to be able to do this. So Thursday morning, just a quick title, Thursday thoughts. You get in that mindset, I do, of kind of linking the days to different topics when it comes to putting content out on social media. And so like we'll go mindset Monday or motivation Monday, and then training Tuesday or tasty Tuesday talking about food, workout Wednesday, that's an easy one. So Thursday thoughts, you know, just maybe some slightly random different things that I've been thinking about for myself or when working with people this week. And something that always keeps coming back to is health and fitness jargon. Okay, so I did a little video yesterday on IGTV, shared it on here as well, Facebook, from the page onto my profile, all that sort of thing, talking about push-pull workout splits. Now it's probably it's actually a intermediate to an advanced kind of topic really, in a sense of training, in that for most people, getting in the gym, doing 5, 6, 7 exercises 2 or 3 times a week, can be the same ones. That's great, that's enough, that's going to be doing what you want it to do. Then when it becomes a little bit more in-depth and involved, which I was trying to say in the video as well, then you might start to look at splitting workouts up in different ways, and how you split the training across the week. And that push-pull thing I was talking about yesterday is a method of doing that. And different trainers, different coaches, different people sorting out and organising their own workouts will have their own preferences and their own ways. So I was just trying to get across the logic of that. And I talk about things like frequency and progression, and get more into it, talk about time under tension, RPE, relative perceived effort, and they're all useful things, all useful terms, but we can get quite bogged down in what these things are, and for me as a coach and a trainer, how I get that message across and how someone is able to implement that. Now, when you're doing an actual training session as a personal trainer with somebody, you will probably implement these things. You will look for progression. Like maybe have your clipboard there with what your client did last time, and you're looking for that progression. And when you are setting programs up and sending emails, PDFs and things like that, you're saying, putting in bits about progression, but simply that is doing a little bit more weight or a few more reps over subsequent workouts after the starting point. Then we talk about RPE, relative perceived effort. When I'm working with someone directly in the gym, I can see how much effort they're making. I can judge that based on what they've done before, what it looks like now, and probably being, in a sense, screening the client at the time. Are they feeling really good? What point of the week is it? How busy has their week been? What have the training they've done so far? For ladies, depending on your client relationship, is the monthly cycle a factor? I've talked about that before. So where are they in the monthly cycle? How is that going to affect the training session? And then we go on to the nutrition side, and people like myself, most other coaches out there now, are constantly talking about calorie deficit for weight loss, fat loss, and I feel like I haven't talked about it for a long time because I've talked about it so much, but the message still isn't out there for people, because things like weight loss teas, wraps, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, all those things are still highly prevalent, and people are still buying into those, but they don't necessarily teach the principle behind it. The principle behind most nutrition strategies to lose weight and reduce body fat, like I say most, I say all, is actually creating a calorie deficit. If you do intermittent fasting, you're creating a calorie deficit by shortening the amount of time you eat generally. If you're go to keto, you're cutting out whole food groups, so you'll probably eat less, creating a calorie deficit. If you're vegan for weight loss, fat loss reasons, as well as health and moral reasons, then the reason you will lose weight is because you're cutting out whole sections of food groups. You're just not you're choosing not to eat those foods, so you're less likely to overeat. So calorie deficit actually is still probably a fitness term, a bit of fitness jargon that needs constant emphasising and constant explaining. And it comes back to something I talk about extensively, which is principles. The principles work universally in terms of calorie deficit, resistance training with progression, any sort of training with progression, consistency, frequency, how often you do activity. For most people, it's better to do more intense activity 2, 3, 4 times a week, and then focus on low level activity the rest of the time. Getting your steps, walks with the kids, with the dog, maybe at lunchtime. Just getting out and moving is going to be a benefit, because then that affects and improves your TDEE, another fitness bit of jargon, total daily energy expenditure. You keep that up and you're having less energy from food and drinks coming in. You create a calorie deficit, and that means you are therefore over time going to utilise your body fat stores as a source of energy in your body, and potentially have weight loss as well. There's all these different terms, all these different jargons, and what I kind of want to get across today is I'm guilty of it as much as the next person, of making fitness maybe sound complicated and making it seem like there's 15, 20 different things you need to consider, implement. Should I eat chicken today? Should I eat mince today? Is rice okay? Are potatoes okay? They're things to consider on an individual basis, and by all means get help and support to make those decisions for you. But it's really knowing that why, the principles of it, and then you can make better choices or an informed decision based on the principles, and not on trying to get it perfectly right. Because what works for me, in terms of a packet of rice that goes in the microwave, is exactly what I need right now, because I'm working in a school, I'm teaching again, and that goes in the microwave at lunchtime, 2 minutes, and the rice is ready. If I was at home, maybe I'd take a little bit longer over the cooking, but we've got to weigh up what's convenient, what's sustainable, what you can keep on doing against what might be perfect against some usually kind of in our head meal plan of what perfection looks like when we're talking about the nutrition side. And on the training side, there's all sorts of great information out there on the internet, great stuff on Instagram. There's also lots of great stuff on videos and on Instagram and all that sort of thing. We've just got to try and focus in and simplify it down to what works well for us, what we can do consistently, and keep going from there. So off the top of my head, I can't think of any more kind of relevant health and fitness jargon that might need demystifying right now, but I'm sure as it comes up, I'll try and explain it better in my posts, in my videos, and all things like that. And just on that, that's often why a lot of fitness people write quite long captions and put on their posts on Instagram and Facebook, because they're trying to explain things, and if you just kind of throw terms out there, then it becomes the message kind of gets lost. And it's at the same time, things are quite simple, but also to someone whose profession or life hasn't had a lot of experience in health and fitness training, all that sort of thing, then these things can seem really kind of weird and wonderful, especially as where there's a potential exposure to so much kind of strange stuff in terms of what you might read from other websites and things like that. What you might see they post, it can get very, very confusing. So I see part of my job as reducing that confusion and making things applicable to individuals and people as a whole as much as possible. So anything I can help with that, please give me a shout. See you soon.